What is up, Team Eternal? Welcome to another EPL Eternal Logos podcast. That's coming in a second. Unfortunately, the last podcast that we recorded, it was back in February. I know it's been a little bit, I know it's been a while. Sorry we weren't able to get more podcasts out to you at the end of 2024, but hopefully everybody had a fantastic holiday, Happy New Year and all that. It is now about to be June. It's Memorial Day in 2025, and we're just getting this one out to you. So it's a journey. Remember, that's what this is all about. So you guys can see growth. Things just got busy, but unfortunately for this podcast, it was so good. We wanted to make sure we got it to you. So it's just an audio. The video file got corrupt. There was an issue. It was a learning lesson for me to make sure, how I'm doing the files and all that. But nevertheless, it was a fantastic episode. They came in the studio. We recorded it. We wanted to get to you guys. So enjoy it while you're doing work, while you're washing dishes, cutting the grass, no matter what it is. Hopefully you'll be able to listen to it and enjoy it nonetheless. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate it to you. That's a short message. Let's get to the content. And liking, subscriptions is optional, but commenting is mandatory. And Eternal never ends. Thanks, guys. What is up, Team Eternal? Welcome to another EPL Eternal Logos podcast. This is the first episode of 2025.
Oh, nice.
And, it's been
I didn't even know that.
a month. I'm late. I haven't get another podcast out. I'm currently editing and some, but it's good to see you guys. Hopefully, everybody's having a fantastic year so far. It's February. The years always go by so fast, so you can just never be quite prepared for that. But we have a fantastic episode for you guys today. This year, I'm going to try to do less intro. Obviously, we'll try to do quick updates, but I know, getting straight to the material is what people want to see. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But for now, we have two great guests in the studio today. I always say, I'm so happy for this guest, but I'm going to try to switch it up and say you guys are great guests, even though I'm obviously still very, very excited about this. So we have two guests today. We'll do introductions in a second like we always do. But I wanted to just say shout out to my family. I'm going to be traveling to Baltimore on Thursday. I had a death in the family. Another cousin passed away, sadly. But any of my family members who are watching this, friends and family who may know, my cousin Pumpkin, she passed. So appreciate everybody for your thoughts and your prayers. I'll be traveling, like I said, this week on Thursday. But I had to make sure I do that because, there's no place like home. There's no place like family. And so I'm going to bring down the room.
You're good.
You're good. But hopefully everybody again is having a good time this year and is blessed and all that stuff. And so, all right, let's get to the content. So we have Daisy. And my boy Meech. I met them in the gym.
Yep.
Most of the people who have been on, have been people I've met in the gym. So you can tell that if you don't go to the gym, go because you make great friends there.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. The gym is a great place to meet people.
It's spectacular. So we have them in the studio, and they did not tell me the topic ahead of time. So this is we're starting off year strong. That's the way we like to do it. So we'll give you guys a chance to introduce yourselves in a second. So just name if you wanted to say anything fun about yourself, but also we want to worldview. So whatever your worldview is, if it's if you come from a Christian background or whatever your particular worldview is, your spiritual, whatever it is, doesn't necessarily have to be anything particular. But I just like to do that to give people a good sense for the place that you're coming from when you're having conversation, whether it be discussion or debate topic or format or whatever it is, but that's just always a good way to get started. And then after that, we will introduce the topic and we'll get going with the content. So who wants to go first? I think you said ladies first.
Ladies first.
There you
go. Well, I'm Daisy, and I believe in a higher power, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. I don't really have a name for it. I think that we all kind of believe in the same thing. We just have different names for it, but yeah.
Yeah, nice. Social media? Want to plug your social media?
My name, Daisy.Crowder.
On Instagram?
That's about it, yeah, Instagram.
Nice.
I have a YouTube. It's also my name, Daisy Crowder, so.
There you go. It's always best when it's simple because people remember your name. And now, of course, you'll see it in the description.
I feel like I used to hyper focus on what the name should be, but honestly it's just me. I just put videos on there about me. So
brand yourself, man. That's great. So cool.
Meech, or Dimitri, obviously. I feel like Meech is not short for that many names, but just to clarify, and I'm kind of in the same, well, not kind of, I'm in the same boat as her as far as just believing in something bigger, something greater. I usually, the word I gravitate toward the most is the universe, but I'm really just saying God or whatever whatever it is to you, whatever word you prefer to use.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it is for me.
Nice. Social media?
Social media is Iron Meech, IronMeech. And I have a YouTube as well, and it's just Meech. So I got Iron Meech, and then I got just Meech.
A period.
Just Meech, JUST.
Oh, there is a period.
Or
I forgot because I just changed it. That's why.
Yeah.
is it just comma Meech or just
No,
Meech?
Just Meech.
Is it together? Or is there a space?
Yeah.
I think it's together.
Nice.
No, I think there's a space.
You sure?
We will put. They'll see it when
It's not looking too good. I did just change it.
Yeah.
Because how she was saying what'd you say? You said you don't like to focus too much on the name.
I
or
was
whatever?
hyper focusing on a name.
I used to do the same thing because that's like the fourth name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to pick a name when I was coming up with the podcast and kind of like, what am I going to call it, right? And
Yeah.
I do have a company, so I was like, let me use, and I try to use the words in my company for other things. It's just good to just link the two things, but also it's just like, what's also going to be catchy? What do people remember? Do you want your name in there? Because people always remember your name.
Yeah.
And so it's a tough thing to do.
The thing with it for me is just I just wanted it to be, because my channel is literally just me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a specific thing. The only thing you know for sure you're gonna get when you click on that channel is me.
Will be there.
That's the only thing I can guarantee you. It's just whatever I felt like making. So it's just Meech.
Right.
Just Meech.
That's good. Cool. Well, welcome you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming. Hopefully everybody will enjoy the content that we're about to create.
I think
we're
so.
about to get into a good discussion and topic. Ceremonial flip.
Ceremonial
Actually,
flip.
let's introduce a topic first and then we'll ceremonial flip.
Heard.
So
No, go ahead. You're the one
I
that
was
came
gonna
up
give it
with
to
the
you.
topic. No.
What do you mean? I want you to say it because I want to see if you know it.
Basically, it's
test.
just the dynamics between men and women.
Oh yes. This is a great one. This is super,
Why
super
was he trying
popular.
to test me? What is this?
Is that how you would have phrased it? How would you have phrased it differently?
No.
Good.
If she would have said anything slightly wrong, I'd have been like, we're
That's
incorrect.
spot on. Yeah. Like, yes,
Immediately.
yeah.
No, you-
That's a good broad way of saying it too. That makes sense. That's a good, yeah.
I mean, because, it's not necessarily like a specific thing. It's because that's such a broad topic. It could be literally anything. And that's something that her and I talk about all the time. I know me and you have talked about it before. So
Yes.
it's just a general thing that
Love it.
everybody can relate to.
Love it. Here we go. Boom. And again, this is an hour, a true hourglass.
That's actually really interesting.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that just keep us on track. We go over, it's whatever. But just keeps
We're
us
aware of
without me having to look at the digital
hour mark,
Yeah. And it's something cool for people to look at.
That's true.
You guys love it, I know. All right. So you guys want to start with this? This is a good one. I think so. Relationships, dynamics between men and women. I think that tends to where things tend to veer into.
Time out.
Yep.
Did we acknowledge the fact that we're together?
Oh. Well,
I
they
don't
know
think
now. They know now.
Are we the first couple?
You are the first couple.
Oh my god.
You are the first couple.
Look at that. Look at that.
And the
That's
topic
awesome.
is
Yeah, yeah.
interesting too, though.
Good stuff. Well, this should be. I should just sit back and just. I'm just gonna
I
fade
thought he was
off.
gonna be like, I should just walk out the room. That's what I was gonna say. Like, whoa, where you going? Where you going, bro? We kind of need the host.
Yeah. So relationships. That's big. Like I said on social media right now, with a lot of podcasts talking about it, and so I think it's a good topic to always revisit for a number of different reasons. It doesn't have to necessarily be relationship specific, but I think, like you said, dynamics between men and women. It's something that is, I think, under analyzed.
Yeah.
It like just normally like the social world around the dynamics between women is undervalued. It's something that we don't give a lot of thought to. Yeah. Luckily, these podcasts are starting to talk about it a lot because there are a number of things that people are bringing to the surface that people are kind of like, some people are shocked. They're like, what? I had no idea. Right. And so this is something I think that has many, many, many layers.
For sure. It's a lot of little nuances and like little niches within just that just that topic itself. Like it's so many little things that people think that don't matter, and they really do. They make a big impact in the long run. So I think that's something that people just need to. There need to be more spaces for it. You know,
100%.
Like it's like kind of zoom into it a little more. And we talk about that. Just that term that I use right there, zooming in and zooming out. Yeah, we talk about that all the time because I feel like women are more because of they're just more emotional. They're more zoomed in, whereas men we're less emotional, more logical, more you know, it's like logic and reason and stuff like that, right? It's kind of zoomed out. Because we were just having this conversation like a few days ago, and I was telling her, I was like, I just prefer to be. It's easier for me to be zoomed out than it is for you to be zoomed in. I was like, but either way, we miss things. Like when you're zoomed in, you can really only see what's in front of you. It was like when I'm zoomed out, everything looks okay, but I don't really know how everything feels. The way I explained it to her was like it's like if I'm in a plane, like somebody's in a plane and you look down and you see all the people moving, like, oh, they probably look like everybody's just doing their thing. But being zoomed in, you would know that person's going through this. He's got that going on, and I feel like that's just a facet of it that doesn't really get talked about enough because it's like we look at it like one's better than the other. It's not the case.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that question. Why do you think it's become such a taboo thing? I would say if we were able to turn back the hands of time for 1,000 years ago, I don't think it would have been a taboo topic. Like I think it's something that people probably just generally had understanding of, and I think there's a number of different reasons for that. I think life has gotten a lot simpler and easier and more convenient. Yeah, and so I think that the roles and the natural dynamics between men and women and sort of the parts that women and women have played over the centuries and the years has now kind of gotten a little blurry, right? And it's a little more vague. So like, why do you guys think it's like become like a taboo topic to kind of? It isn't that maybe taboo is probably because people are talking about it more, but it is still sensitive. There's a lot of sensitivity around it.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like it's probably because like a lot of people, not just more women, I would say, in my experience, but a lot of people have expectations of the roles that the man is supposed to play and the role that the woman is supposed to play. So I think that's also where the sensitivity comes in because it's like, oh no, like you're not doing it like this, and I think. Especially for our relationship, like it's so different than most people. Like when I don't talk to my friends that much because I just know like they're not gonna always understand. But like little things here and there, you can see they're like really surprised, and it's like, well, it's okay for things to be different. Everything doesn't have to be like, oh, the man needs to provide this way financially and pay all these things. Like things can be different. Like I think one thing with us is. I don't expect him to pay for everything for me. He's not expecting me to cook and clean for him like that.
Hey, I've cooked for her. I don't know how many times.
Good
man. That's
what I'm
for
me.
Not like making a complaint or anything like that. It's just that's what I already do, so I'm just gonna do it. You know, but
I think it also comes into play like with neediness. Like I think about this a lot. We've talked about this a couple of times. Like I think. When it comes to like certain roles, certain men become needy. Like, I need you to cook and clean for me because I'm doing this for you. And then the neediness and the expectations all kind of like tie in together. So I think that's probably like a big
just
thing.
The expectations.
Yeah.
And that can really make things go a little sour because it's almost like you're not allowing that person to just be what they naturally would be, and then you kind of just. Actually seeing if you actually like that or not. Right. You know? Because like with her and I, we don't really I'm trying to figure out how to word it. We don't like I don't look at her like that's my girlfriend. Like she's an entire person and she happens to be my girlfriend. Right. She's not my girlfriend first and then all the other stuff is like whatever. Right. It's no, I respect her enough for her to still be her own person. We respect each other, you know, that way. So it's like I feel like in a lot of ways, we don't realize how we almost kind of degrade each other's value when we just like, well, that's my man, and da-da-da-da. It's just like
you see him one-dimensionally.
Yeah, it's like you got to look at him holistically. You know, I don't know. That's just the way that we've come to realize that we kind of just prefer things to be. Yeah, between her and I.
Yeah. What do you think is your most controversial opinion about the dynamics between men and women? If you had one opinion, what do you think is the most controversial?
Oh boy.
Right, you were talking about like roles and stuff. That's
I feel
something
like that's probably like the biggest thing for me, only because, again, like I have a very different view on relationships and the dynamic, especially because like we kind of take each other as we are, and we like as we go along, we're like, okay, well, this is what we want to do, and like, okay, we don't want to do that, and so without all those expectations, it kind of just allows us to figure out how we want things to be. I can even speak on the fact that like, okay, we now stay together, and we've talked about this before about having separate rooms, and everybody's like, why you don't sleep with him? I'm like, because we just don't. It's fine. Like
when we do, we do. When we don't, we don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just.
Yeah.
I've had to learn how to take space. I still am. But I think that's also a big thing that people get in relationships and think that you're supposed to be up under your person all the time. And like, sometimes you don't realize that that's pushing them away even more than you think. Not everybody. I think also another thing is that certain men and certain women, when they're chasing that person or up under them all of the time, you start losing yourself in the relationship as well. And I think that you get to a certain point where you don't even know who you are anymore. And I think that's a big thing. And I say this to my friends all the time. Like when they come to me and they're like mad about their man, usually like, oh, well, he doesn't want to hang out with me and he wants to do this. And I'm like, well, probably because he's just taking care of his responsibility and doing what he needs to do for himself.
Do they get mad at you?
Not mad, but
They probably resist it.
That's what I mean. Do you feel like
they
you feel
become
resistance?
very resistant to it and don't always want to hear it. I can speak on a situation right now. I have a friend. We've been talking like every night, honestly, and she's having trouble letting this person go, even though they're still together. She's having trouble letting them go, and I'm like, you got to understand that. Even though y'all are together, holding on to the relationship with this person is not. If anything, it's hurting you more than it's helping you. And it's like she's scared to let it go because she's scared that she's going to lose that person. But at the end of the day, like if you detach from it and that person decides that they want to leave, so what? Honestly, it is what it is. At the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you and allow them to do what's best for them. And I told her, like, what's meant for you is going to be for you. So that's probably, like, a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Controversial opinion. What position on something? Roles is definitely a big one, right? Especially in 2025. Like I said, if it was, reversed 1,000 years, it'd have been it seemed like it'd been simple.
Yeah, and it's the thing about that is, again, like the expectation is like insane on both ends. Like what men expect from women, and what men expect from men. It's like, it's I don't like. I feel bad for people that are actually trying to date right now. I do. I'm like, man, it's.
I have that conversation quite often with people about how the dating pool is very. I'm sure you guys feel the same. If you're out there dating, condolences. No, I'm kidding.
But the thing about it is, it's really about what you do, where you're going, and what you're exposing yourself to. Because you open up Instagram or the TikTok, whatever, you're gonna see the worst of the worst. It's not like that. Yeah, it's not like that. Yeah, I meet plenty of amazing people on a regular basis. You know, But anyway, dang, I'm trying to think of my most controversial.
Like take, like if somebody was able to like to sit you down and to say, what's something that you would say that you hold about the dynamics between men and women to be true? That most people, if they heard it today, would probably feel.
I got it.
Insult. They'd be offended. Like, you just said that.
I don't know how controversial it is actually.
I'll be the ramen. I'll let you know. I'll tell you if people.
But I'm a firm believer that men and women can be friends.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of people don't believe that, but I'm
I
like,
think we
it's
talked about that. Yeah,
very possible.
yeah,
Like, there's some things that come into play, but for the most part, it's 100% possible. And a lot of times when that issue gets pushed, it's usually the guy.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We usually the ones doing it. It's usually not the girl trying to push. Like, what girls don't even do that.
True.
It's usually us. We just don't know how to act or whatever. But it is. I have a lot of female friends. She has a lot of guy friends. You know what I'm saying? It's never really been like. You want to know what's interesting about me? When I was in like middle school, high school, or whatever, I always wanted, like around that time was when I realized, like, bro, I just want female friends. I just want girlfriends. I didn't want a girlfriend. I just wanted female friends. Don't know why. But fast forward now, and I'm like, I think I did it. Like, I have more female friends and acquaintances now than I have ever in any point in my life. And it's not like on some, I had history with this person.
Right.
A few of them, I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
But we can move past that and still maintain a friendship. Bro, I listen, man, to a degree, I think girlfriends are better than dude friends. to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's I think that when a guy, because I had to learn this myself, when a guy can learn how to not see a woman as an object, like literally a vagina with legs, things significantly change. Because when you meet women, a lot of times they're like, okay, what do you want? And I can't even argue with you.
Yeah.
You get it every day. Every time you leave the house, somebody knocking on your door, trying to sell you something.
Yep.
I get it. But when because really what it is I've learned that women speak, I know we've talked about this before, but I don't remember if I've said this to you, but women speak fluent energy, fluent. So they know what you're on before you even say anything because of what's going on internally. That's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of dudes don't understand that. It's like, dude, you got to get yourself right on the inside. Like, be aware of the energy and the vibe that you give off, because that's the first thing that people feel off of you, especially women.
Yeah.
And once you get past that point where you're not trying to get nothing from really anybody, let alone women, you start to realize how I'm trying to figure out the right word I want to use. Like, I did this earlier. What was the word that I almost butchered? I'm trying to say reciprocate.
Oh.
What'd I say?
I don't remember what you said.
What was the word you said? That's what the word I want to use.
Reciprocation, like
whatever. Yes, that's the word. You start to realize how I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to
reciprocal. Is that the word?
Maybe. I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is you start to see a side of women that you really wouldn't even know existed because you stop looking at them from this weird, I gotta have her, I gotta conquer her, I want something from her. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that taught me, because it wasn't even me actively being like, oh, I'm just trying to get female friends. I was just doing the inner work. Didn't know what was gonna happen after that. But then as I started to learn more and I guess get exposed to like certain information and stuff like that, then I'm starting to figure out, I was like, okay, this is why people, a lot of women, just open up to me, and you get the same thing. I know you do. Like, people just open up to you. They just feel safe around you. Just like it's like a universal thing.
Yeah.
It's like people can kind of feel whatever it is that you're radiating, you know what I'm saying? It just comes out of you, and people can really just feel it, and it just makes them feel a certain way. And the reason why I bring it up with women is because I feel like a lot of the times women don't feel safe around a lot of men. And when a woman feels safe around you, that's like honestly probably one of the first couple things that you really want is for a girl to feel safe with you, regardless. Like, whether that's your friend or somebody you're trying to, pursue something with, whatever. You need to have that because that's something that you're just not going to find everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And the farther along I go, the more I realize that how scarce that is, unfortunately. And it's scary. I mean, how many guys have you genuinely felt safe around?
I was actually going to bring that up because not that many. I think that honestly, after meeting him and being around him, I met you, and there's like other people, like even at my where I used to work, there was a guy that I felt comfortable just like talking to. I didn't obviously tell my whole business, but I knew I felt safe opening up to him. And just like you said, most women don't get that, because for one, every time a guy walks up to you, he wants to get your number, he wants to talk to you, and it's like, as soon as you walked up to me, before you even came over here, I already knew what you were coming over here for. So it's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, just go sit down.
They know,
Please.
dude. Like dudes be trying to act like dudes. It's very obvious to me when a dude doesn't operate with women, like he doesn't deal with women on a regular basis, because they do. There's like certain things that they do, and it's just like, bro, what? Like that's like running up on a cat, bro. You don't run up on a cat. You let the cat come to you. Don't run up on a cat like you running up on the cat like a damn dog, bro. Why would the cat want to talk to you? Why would no, bro? Relax.
Right.
Like
that is the pro hack for men. Like you said, if you want a friendship or you want to pursue something else, right? To relax. I know it's cliche to be like, well, be yourself. That has a number of different things that we could talk about, but it is very much so about like not pushing too far beyond a boundary that you honestly, in a moment of meeting someone, you have to give space to discover what that boundary is. If you're too quick, if you're, you know what I mean, you won't give it an opportunity to. And that's not easy for men to necessarily know or learn necessarily. Like, because
I've learned that is like how I said, women, they speak fluent energy, like energy, emotion. That's kind of like in the same, vein of what I'm getting at. But it's like, and I think this is something that you and I have talked about, like with as far as being a masculine man. That's one thing, and then because a lot of times when you hear masculine, you think or like alpha male, you hear like macho and all that type of stuff. That's cool, but there's a difference between like a healthy masculine man, or I'd rather call it like a divine masculine man, which is a dude that is well aware that he has feminine energy. He's not immune to it. I don't have any of that. You do. Yes, you do. Everybody's got different ratios and percentages. We all have it. And I feel like when you can get to that point where you can acknowledge that part about yourself, that's when you really start to understand women. I think that's how it happened for me. Like when I started getting more into spirituality and meditation, and started just paying attention to my emotions and stuff like that, and just let myself feel what I feel when I feel it, just allowing that energy to kind of just flow and actually feel it, as opposed to being this, rough and solid like a rock, That's when things started seriously changing for me. And I was like, whoa, I was like, this is, it was like uncharted territory, because I'm like, nobody told me about none of this stuff, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
Because I'd be willing to bet if I didn't do what I was doing, I don't think her and I would have connected the way that we did.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's the best way for men to build relationships when they understand that. And like you said, understanding is very difficult and hard, because it's not necessarily something you're not taught in school. No. Right? Like most people aren't around, I guess maybe today, aren't around enough men who know and understand it, who can help guide and help them teach them that through experience and seeing, right? It's not necessarily something you're going to walk up to a chalkboard like that. This is how it works, right? Like you kind of have to be around, you have to see sort of that thing. And that's kind of why, like, I know the topic about like 2-parent households comes up a lot, right? In the dynamics between obviously men and women, but the mother and father, how you see them treat each other, that is a big thing. And that's kind of where you start to pick up on some of that stuff. And so obviously today, like there's a lot of single parent households and that kind of thing. So you're entering into this world and this space societally in our day and age where a lot of that's missing, because people don't have that guidance and they don't take the time to actually figure it out. You know what I mean? You kind of just jump into, you just kind of want something, or it's just such a fast paced life. And so a lot of that is just missed for sure. Right. And
it's super important, man. Like it's literally a game changer. Yep. Because you start to, it's that same word, holistic. You start to look at things holistically, and I feel like you can't really go wrong with viewing things that way, because you're not hyper focusing on one thing and then neglecting something else. It's like you just look at the entire picture when you're looking at a person, you know, as opposed to just what you want or what you want to see. You know, I don't know. That's just the way that I look at it.
I feel like so like both of y'all said too. So from what he was saying, I feel like on the other side of having female friends and just understanding that dynamic, I feel like personally me, I've been around dudes who are in that like learning stage, and so I'm almost like the teacher almost.
Yes.
So like
I'll say my piece on that when she's done.
not that I prefer to be in that position.
To be fair, I don't think any woman does.
But I'll say that I have accepted it, and I kind of understand my role in that, and I, to some degree, I'm okay with it. I've been around in relationships, and even I've had a friend, I will say recently, that he just didn't really understand, I guess, how his behavior was coming off girly to me. He didn't understand, I guess, how to take the lead in certain situations. Not necessarily that he always needed to do that, because obviously I think that men and women, we kind of go back and forth with that. But again, I've just been on the other side as the teacher, and I think that it would benefit a lot of guys if they would just stop trying to talk to every girl that they that they come across, and just pay attention and learn. Then maybe you'd have a better gauge on how to interact with us.
Yeah, so the podcast is that, like, the core and the crux of the podcast is to try to use topics that people are interested in, but discover truths in them. And so I think I want to unpack this because I think this is, when you talk about the overall broad dynamics between men and women, and there's the practical. There's like, okay, these individual situations that we experience on a daily basis in our social life that actually unfold before our eyes. And it's just like, well, if you don't know exactly how to unpack it and how to actually get at what's happening, you won't really learn much or understand what's actually happening, what's going on, right? And so you were going to say something about that, Sub.
So with her dealing with more guys that are like that, that made the beginning of our relationship very interesting because I was already done with all that. I'm still learning things, but I was past that point. And so she had to kind of understand, like, whoa, he's not like that, you know? And I just had to tell her what it was and continue to be patient, you know, because I didn't.
Still do.
But not nearly as much then. It was you was like a different person. You were like a completely different person.
Well, for part two, when you guys come, we'll dig into the thick of your relationship particularly. And so, well, what happened? Tell us from day one.
It was pretty apparent to me because, like, you know, she would let me, like, because we were actually friends first. So that's how I kind of was able to gauge it. And I think a good story to drive this point home will be, remember when you were telling me about the two guys you were kind of in between? Like, this was well before we even became a thing. This was just my friend that we worked together.
Yep.
I felt very safe opening up immediately about that, which was
so
crazy.
She was torn in between two guys for different reasons. And in my head, I'm just like, I understand how y'all work to this degree. So I just listened to everything she had to say. And I was just like, well, if you have to pick, you don't want either one of them. Because y'all don't operate like that. Y'all don't do, oh, well, like, you will do it, but you don't really want to. And I'm just like, you don't want either one of them. And then I don't remember what you did or said after that, but.
Oh, he got my gears turning, and I said,
I just kind of dropped it off.
When he said that, I literally immediately was like,
it was like a mic drop.
No, actually, I went home because before he said that, I So I was writing down a list at work of like the pros and cons of both of them. Because I was trying to figure out, I was like,
you get to
Girls
that point,
do this.
It's neither fellow.
Yeah.
It's neither fellow.
Fellow is crazy.
Neither
Yes.
fellow. This
Yes.
is crazy. This is not a you comparing a car like, oh, this was got
Yeah.
this was
Yeah.
got that. Like, you don't do that with a
Yeah.
car. You're not gonna do that with a dude. What? I was just like, you don't want either one of them.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But something else I was gonna say that's on the other side of him talking about just being around different women and just like growing and understanding how to be a man. I think there's also that part of becoming a woman as well, and I think that when you don't really see it at your home, so it's like, okay, well, can't learn it here, and then you get around a man, you're like, oh my god, you like don't know how to act. You kind of, there's a lot that I've learned about myself.
you used to test me a lot.
You know,
It's
I think that,
fine. It comes with it.
yeah.
I understand it.
You know, it's so funny because, like, when you ask, like, what's your most controversial or thing that you think people would probably cringe at,
Yeah.
or you know, like, there's a lot that's coming out that I think people listening or people when you watch different YouTube channels or platforms, some of the things that we're saying and that we're alluding to, people get upset or offended by, or they think it's necessarily, oh, that's not true, that kind of thing. But I think that this is my, if I had to put my controversial position on this is I do believe that there are differences between men and women. And I think how we interact in the world, because there are differences, right, just becomes a part of how you learn and grow and move, right? It's just how it works. So, for instance, women get pregnant. It's just like, that's just something that happens to women.
Yeah,
and then
can't argue that one.
Yeah, just like you interact with human beings because you get pregnant, right? This is a very silly example, but I think it highlights the point because it's one of the most obvious differences, biologically speaking. And because of those interactions, that's just going to have teach you in your mind, framework wise, how you're going to proceed and move forward, right? So when you're pregnant, people hold the door for you more often, right? Because you're pregnant, right? That's going to have an impact on how you interact with people, the expectations that may come about as a result of that.
Yeah.
And so as a result of that, behavior will change, right? And that's just one example, the most obvious, but there's plenty of things, right?
Absolutely.
You talked about like men being leaders, that kind of thing, or you know, you were talking about like, you know, when you're making a pros and cons list, like it's probably not the guy for you because, and you know that because you're like, well, my experience and my understanding of women when I talk to them, when I'm asking them questions, and this is what I do all the time. I say I just gather information. I'm like, I'm just reporting what I've heard.
There you go.
For the most part. Not most of the time, I'm like, I'm not telling you necessarily what I personally think, but this is what I've discovered over time, right? You know, like when a woman is making a pros and cons list,
It's neither guy.
there's probably a couple of other things, right? Like there's probably not it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Almost
it's
like
just things
trying
you
to
learn.
convince
You know?
yourself a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And that kind of ties into the thing that it's a thing that women, I don't really know if dudes do it, but how a lot of women will like date a man like his like potential. He's got so much potential. It's like, that's great that you see that in him, but that's like a rocket that just won't take off.
Dude,
It's
I
just
have
blowing smoke. When is he gonna go?
Yeah.
Like, what?
To some degree, I think that's a learned at home thing too, like as well. Like I personally have seen it, and I have watched it in other people's homes as well. It's like, I think that's part of understanding about being a woman and how we think and how we like take on the world as well. Because I think again, dating a man's potential is like what a little girl would do because you don't understand and you don't really know, and you almost feel like to some degree you don't understand what you deserve. I guess in a sense.
It's like settling. It's
Or like the dream. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you good. Go ahead.
Or just like being like that dream La La Land. So it's like, he could be this, because you're not really looking at that person. You're not really viewing them. You're kind of
It's an idea.
viewing what you want in a man, and then you're trying to put that idea on that person, and they might not be that. And so this whole time you're trying to convince yourself that they're gonna be that, and then you're staying for years and years and years, and then you're like, well,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the potential versus the execution.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
You can have all the potential in the world, but you don't
You
execute.
don't realize it. Yep.
You know, you could have very little potential, but you execute like crazy. That's gonna look completely different.
Yep.
You know, those individuals are gonna operate a lot differently too.
Let me devil's advocate this a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because I think, and I've given this some thought. I think when you look at potential, I think it comes in a number of different lenses, right?
For sure.
I think women, tend to, when they're looking at a guy and they're looking, they're usually looking at other things and hoping, like you said, that he eventually realizes that potential. Like you're hoping that he will get there.
Yeah.
There's the other side of that where it's just like, well, if you are, let's just say you're trying to find somebody, you're 25 and you just got into your career, right? Most men aren't there yet. So you're only banking on potential, and that eventually he'll get to a place where he's making enough money to be able to support and do all these other things or help with a lifestyle, whatever the case may be. And women in this case too, women that work in or career women. And so you don't really have much to go on other than potential at some level, right? And so I do think that there is the potential from, and this is probably the more controversial point, is that I think that women have a very difficult time of vetting and understanding men and the potential in them, right?
Yeah.
You don't quite know as a woman how to say, okay, this man is on his way. He has potential. He's on his way. And if I get into that now, right, and we start pouring into each other, then I will help him realize that potential because I help to inspire him and doing all these other things, right? And so I think that's where it gets a little weird and interesting because women, I think, today, I think that they have more understanding about men than they actually do. And so they get into these situations in these relationships, or they like him for the wrong reason, right? They ignore the red flags, that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden they're in these situations, right? 2-time baby mothers and this kind of stuff. But there is something to be said about, like you said, the realization of potential and being able to identify if this person is going in that direction or not, right? But I think naturally in women, I think it is a safer bet more oftentimes than not to actually have seen. And that's what courting used to be. Yeah. It used to be, hey, this is what I have to offer you. I've realized some of that potential. I'm on my way, and here it is on the table, and you can that's the evidence that you need in order to say, okay, this is the man I want to be with, or this is the man I want to at least pursue or try things with, whatever the case is. Yeah. That's an art that has left the building in 2025 in this century, right? Yeah. And so that's the component that's definitely missing, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I'll say, I think, like, when it comes to the whole vetting process, I think the lack of men.
That's for sure.
Lack of masculine men is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think that's has a lot to do with why women struggle. So it's like if I'm around all these man boys, it's like,
that's true.
How can I really differentiate the two? Like, and that's what I kind of was saying earlier. Like, being around him has allowed me to kind of see more of masculine men and be around them and, I guess, in a way, like, manifest them to some degree. So I'm, like, spotting them way more because it's like, okay, if I get this car, now I'm seeing this car everywhere. Yeah. Like, it's the same kind of concept. Yep. So I feel like
what kind of car am I?
Don't answer. That's a great question.
I'm like, I don't know what to think about that.
It's a great date question, by the way. If you want to go on a date, that should be your first question. What kind of car am I? Whatever she says, you're a Prius.
It might not be.
You're a Toyota Prius.
That's actually another probably controversial thing with us. Like, we don't. I don't really. How do I want to say it? This is why I don't get on social media now, because I just don't want to see all these relationships and stuff. Because it's like, then you end up comparing your relationship, thinking that it's supposed to be like that, and it's not.
That's
and like,
wise.
And I think a lot of people I've noticed on social media now, like these married couples, well, to sustain your relationship, you guys have to go on dates and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, we don't really call it dates. It's just like, oh, we're going out to eat, okay? Oh, we're going to hang out tonight and, like, watch a movie together, okay? Yeah. But it's not like a date. It's just, I don't know, spending time together. And I guess people put so much, especially women, put so much emphasis on that and feeling like they need those things to sustain the relationship. But personally, I don't. I think the major thing for us, especially, is like just communicating with each other. Like literally, like sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I want to run away because I'm like, how is he gonna react? But it's like sometimes just do it.
Yeah.
Because then after the fact, like it brought us closer together, and I have clarity, he has clarity, and like we can continue moving forward.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't need to have the date questions or.
Right.
You know, to each their own. I'm not judging, you know, do whatever works for you at the end of the day. But
and that kind of goes with what we talked about with the aspect of like a lot of people just getting in relationships for a romantic aspect of it, which is not wrong, but that's what that sounds like to me when you're saying the stuff that you see on social media, because a lot of the stuff is romanticized. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we grew up watching on TV. You know, getting it's like a lot of it's like the standard for a relationship is somebody that's gonna make me feel good and validate me,
right?
Which is not wrong, but that's a lot of the times that's really just it. It's like you don't want to go past that or nothing like that. You want to learn nothing about yourself. Like, you know, like I've learned a lot of stuff about myself being around her, and I'm sure she's learned a lot about, you know, because I like to pull those things out of her, and I don't know if you like pulling them out of me, but I like to, you know, just like I like to make her wheels turn. Yeah. And I never really thought about it like that. Or, you know, I used to do it's like that is intriguing to me. Like it's more so, I don't know, it's more so like discovery for me. And like really being like, because really what it was, the main thing that attracted me to her is when I look at her, I see me. And I've never experienced that before. Because to my knowledge, I'm like, I would like to be with somebody that's like me, but I don't know if they out there. And then I met her, and I was like, oh, okay. And then when I met her, I was like, whoa. Yeah. You know, and I was just like, in that like in that way, like how when people, like how I was saying, when people romanticize and stuff like that, or they get in relationships to feel good and feel validated, her being validates me, because it's like another version of me out there, and I don't know how the hell you got here. Right. That's enough for me. I don't need all the, you know, the presents and the gifts and like, she's right there.
I have a question for you on that note. Do you think, because you were talking about the guy that you know and how you're having to teach him, right, how to kind of be, what Meech is saying, do you think that you are taking on sort of a lot of who he is? And so I, like what you're saying is like, oh, I see a lot of her in me, but I think sometimes what happens in relationships, I think that there's something that you see in him, and so you start to kind of, you're molding, like you're kind of like forming, you know what I mean? Like, do you think that that's happening?
Wait, can I go first?
Yes. Oh, no. Yes.
You said no?
No, I said go.
Okay. Oh, so she did what you're saying. She did a lot of that in the beginning. Now, not so much, but good.
It was funny that you even said that, because actually that's something that I've been thinking about a lot more recently. Because that's something I noticed that with other women, they kind of, and I've done this in the past with other relationships where I've almost lost myself because I took so much on of that, like their behaviors, what they liked, what they wanted to do. And
men are your friends that are girls, or guys that you knew?
Like women that I've known have done that, and also I've done that myself. So I have like experience with it, and I understand it, but also I kind of agree with him. Like I felt this before I even met him. I felt like this, like when I had that whole back and forth with the two dudes. Yeah, I saw certain things in them that was like me, but it wasn't. I was like, at my core, it wasn't really, didn't really resonate with me. But then I met him, and I was like, and like sometimes it's the best. Sometimes it's annoying. Sometimes I'd be like, oh my God, because it's like we're the same person. I'm like, okay,
that don't make
but it allows me to be.
It don't make it perfect.
I guess it allows me to be more understanding of myself. And then also, I don't really think that, like, especially now, I think that he purposely does things that allows me to kind of just focus on me and like figure out what I want, what I like, not just doing it because he wants to do it. Like, I think my biggest thing is I'll say no if I don't want to do something. that's not something that I would do before. Sometimes I would just go along with stuff, and like he
Right.
does the same thing, and so I think I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
There's just
I will say a couple things. So I know I said an opinion before, but I have an opinion about this. I think when you meet the type of guy who is competent, who's understanding, who's wise, and who is honest and open with you, I think there is something naturally in women that will unlock towards a man.
That was a
like that.
very good word to use.
Right.
Unlock. Very good word.
And I think that is like, I
she-
think women that do a great, like women are the best at being able to like just fall, like when you create that space,
Yeah.
like
Because unfortunately that's hard to find.
Yeah.
You know? And like with her, like, okay, like I know that men are naturally just the leaders. Right? Which is funny because a lot of the times, like if in any relationship setting, if somebody's trying to change somebody, the girl's trying to change the guy.
Right.
You can't do that.
Yeah. That's so good. It's all
You
the time.
can't, you can't do it, and you don't. I'm sorry, but you don't have enough influence to do it. You know, like I just feel like men just have like there's something about being masculine is very like direct, like forward thinking, like you know what I'm saying. And so with her, like I know that she's gonna follow behind me to some degree, but like how she was saying, I try my best to just help her
Encourage
be
me.
and see herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, because you know you better than I ever will.
That's
Just like I know me better than I ever will.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to mold you and manipulate, manipulate her into anything. Like I just want you to be you.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
You know, that's the most important thing to me. Because I thoroughly enjoy being myself.
Yeah.
So I want you to feel the same way about you.
Yeah.
That's it.
See, that's the fake stuff right there when it's intent. Like, it's not about necessarily what you do. So it's not like, oh, I like video games, so you should like video games. It's not that. It's like, no, I can, like, I've spent enough time around you. I understand you enough to know you will enjoy video games. It's not because of what I want. I just know you well enough that you will probably gravitate and start to like video games.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to start to create a space
It's
for
funny
you to
that
fall right into that.
It's funny that you say that because when I want to show her things that are like video games, perfect. She's not really into video games like that. But me knowing that, I know that I need to be smart about what I pick.
Right, exactly.
I need to be really smart, and it's got to hook her fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing with like if I'm showing her. I mean, she's kind of the type to where like if I'm into it, she'll just watch it or whatever. But I like to pick and choose.
Yes,
I'm not gonna waste your time.
That's great leadership. That's exactly how it's supposed to
He
go.
also
I'm gonna make
doesn't
this
watch
count.
boring stuff. So I grew up watching. Like I grew up around all boys. Like my brothers, my cousins. Like I didn't have that many girl cousins, so it was just me and the dudes. So like even watching stuff with him now, it kind of just reminds me of like my childhood. Like I used to watch them play the game, and it was fun for me. Like it's not boring. I enjoy it. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well.
That's so dope because what happens is this is a live action right here. What happens is, and I'm just hearing this for the first. I haven't heard this, I promise you, but Meech is probably able to see that without it being explicitly stated. Not necessarily to say that conversation didn't happen, but I almost can promise. Like it's just like I see, you know what I mean? Like when you're pursuing the right things and you just there's just a way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
There are certain things that become obvious, especially when you are taking the leadership role. Like regardless of what leader if it's selling cars, if you're a manager, if you're in a relationship, doesn't matter. Like leaders, when you create a certain space, the team and the dynamic, the culture of whatever it is that you're leading will come to you.
Yeah.
Far more naturally than you having to shove it into
because all you gotta do is show up and just be authentic. Just actually just be you, and they'll find you. Simple. Like that's kind of how how her and I met. So even more lore, even more depth. So I actually knew her mother. I've known her mother longer than I've known her. Her mother, we've been working at the same job for like 4 or 5 years, something like that. And we always knew of each other, but it took a while for us to actually meet, right?
Yeah.
And so, what are you laughing at? So, and like, what was the stuff that you were saying?
About what?
About when you the next person you just wanted to date.
Oh, I don't remember exactly what I said.
You
but...
said that you didn't want to have to introduce him to your parents.
Oh yeah, I really didn't. No, I didn't.
I already knew both of them.
I literally, I was like, I just needed, like, I wanted to be a friend. I wanted to be someone who's already comfortable with my family and like my friends and the people that I know. Just because I just feel like it's more natural that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think us being friends beforehand just allowed everything to kind of just flow naturally, and it still allows us to be friends now. Like. Yeah, sometimes I do get caught up in the whole like romantics and relationship stuff, and he brings me back down to earth. But you know, but I think us being friends, there's like a certain level of respect for each other, and I think that's the biggest thing for me because, again, I've been with girly boys, so a lot of times they like fall into that like romance, and I'm like,
they need.
Ew, what are you doing? And then there's a lack of friendship there. And so they're always worried about the romance part. I'm like, I'm just trying to be your friend, dude. I'm just trying to like be the homie. Like I'm trying to chill, joke, laugh all the time. Like we don't gotta be lovey-dovey all the time. Like, and so now like with him, I think too, that's why I was gonna say this earlier. Sometimes like certain things are like triggering for me because I'm not used to it. So I don't even know how to operate. I'm like, this is new. What is happening? What are we doing?
Yeah. That is like, I think between these, when you understand these dynamics, the nuances, the things that happen in life, I think that you get to a place, this is certainly true. When you understand it, you have a better opportunity and a better chance of navigating and managing it well. Mm-hmm. When people don't understand, where they don't care to know, or they may about some of these topics like we're talking about how it's potentially taboo, right? Like when you shy away from it because you are sensitive or you don't want to hear it, like you don't put yourself in the best position to understand, right?
No.
You can't figure out, well, why is my relationship failing? It's like because you don't really have an understanding of yourself and really where you need to be.
And that was something that really helped with her and I because, again, when we met each other, were you single? Were you technically single? I know I was single. I don't know if you were.
Technically, yes.
I
was not in a relationship. I have not been in a relationship.
So me, I was perfectly good by myself. I had like one relationship prior, but I was single. I was cool. You know, I'm just doing my thing. I'm like, I had already understood. It's like, go for the girls that like you. Mm-hmm. You know, it's gonna be much easier for you. Go for the girls that like you. You know, and I just show up as myself everywhere I went. Yeah, it was just me. Yeah, I wasn't trying to sell a course. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't trying to do nothing.
That's hilarious.
I was just me. Yeah. You know, I was genuinely okay with being single. That's another thing that people need to learn. Like I was so good with being single. Yeah. And then how it happens like that when 100%. When I'm not looking, that's when it pops up every time. Yeah.
I think two things. So to add on to what he was saying, that's another thing that I was doing before I met him. Like I was already, regardless if I was talking to whomever, I was already doing what I needed to do for myself. I was focusing on me. Like I had, honestly, when we got together, I would say a few months prior to that, I just got to that point where I was like, I'm enjoying being single. I love this. Like I'm enjoying just having time for me and really just dating myself, if we're being honest. So like us getting together was just like really natural. And I think that's also probably a big thing that people don't really understand. It's like that whole, every time you chase something, you're not going to attract it. It's just going to run away from you. So it's just accepting where you are and enjoying just being by yourself. Stop looking for that man or that woman. It's like it'll be right there. You won't even know. It'll just pop up.
And it'll be so much easier for you in the long run, just letting things come to you as opposed to going out and getting things. And then it's just like if you have to chase something, it's like you have to kind of like the way I look at it is, because like I've never been the kind of guy like to walk up to a girl and get her number. Like, I've never been like that, but I think it's a good skill to have. But I don't think it's like it's like having a gun. You don't want to use it, but you know how to use it if you need to, right?
Exactly.
So you don't always want to depend on it. Like, bro, you don't always got to do that.
Exactly.
Just use something else. Like what? But
Exactly.
it's like it's a good thing to have,
Yes.
but you want to be able to recognize and feel out when somebody's feeling you, when a girl is feeling you. You know what I'm saying? You need to know what that looks like. You need to learn how to, but you don't learn that without the nuances. That's like the word of the podcast is nuance. You know what I'm saying? You got to know those little things, those little nuts and bolts that make a huge difference in the long run. You know, like how I was saying, how women know what you on before you even start talking to them. They know if you're trying to get in their pants.
Immediately.
Like within the first
immediately.
30 seconds.
As soon as I see you eyeing, I'm like, oh, he's finna come over.
Especially if you say something
here.
stupid. You gotta be like, come on, man. And same thing like I said with the cat analogy about like just walking up on a girl. Bro, you don't just walk up on a cat, do you?
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like subtle.
Yeah.
Or just let it happen. Like it's I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Because you see so many guys like just trying to pick up girls. Oh, let me get the number and stuff like that. It's like, bro, you don't understand like how needy that comes off.
Right.
And that is not an attractive trait, male or female.
Yeah.
Neediness.
Yeah.
But it's really not attractive on a dude.
Right.
You know, because like when I say this all the time, like dudes have a lot of dudes have no idea what it looks like when a girl genuinely likes them. It'll change your whole life. It's like,
That's
that didn't work out, but that girl liked me.
Right.
And that was really easy. You know, like it's night and day, bro.
Yeah.
Something he said earlier, and we've talked about this before. I think I've really just started to pay attention and learn that honestly, it's kind of better when the girl comes up to you and when she approaches you or talks to you. Because like 100%. I've never
certainly easier, that's for sure.
Ever told a guy that I liked him or like I've never like been the one that's I didn't do that. And for me, that also wasn't a thing because I was like, no. We don't need to do that. He needs to come up to me and talk to me. But like I couldn't even help it. I was like, I gotta tell him because when something's on my mind and it's like running, I can't not say anything.
Yeah.
I kind of asked you because so this is what I did. Pro tip to all the guys out there: don't ask for the number or the social media. Give them yours. It's much better. I'm gonna tell you why. It's better because it gives them a choice. I have your information, and now I'm gonna see if I'm gonna use it or not. There you go. So I gave her my number because we worked together. I wasn't even trying to, we talked all the time. So I was like, I could give you my number, and then it went from there. And then I don't remember what did I ask you?
I thought I told you in person. No. I don't remember texting you. He was saying that, but I'm like, that's not how
No. Because I asked you. And I texted you. I think I was like, do I make you nervous? I think that's what it was. Because when I would get to work, she would start like dropping shit.
Oh,
your face
God.
said that seemed like it was true.
Start foaming at the mouth. I'm
no,
like,
it's not. No, it's
That's
not
when you
even.
know you got him.
No, it was not even funny. Like
she pouring people smoothie on the floor.
No,
like,
it was not
the
funny.
Cup was right there. You missed the cup.
It was so bad. Like I was literally the awkward girl from the TV shows or the movies. Never experienced that in my life. That's also how I knew I really liked him. Because I was like, what the heck is happening? Why am I getting like this? Like he would come down the ramp and I would like turn around and I would be cheesing and I was like, Daisy, calm down, stop it, stop smiling at me. Ridiculous. He would come down and he's like, I know you're smiling at me, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Trying to hide
the
like,
choosing
no.
signals.
Like no.
Lost art.
There you go.
Lost art.
Lost
it is
art.
A lost
you gotta
art.
be observant to catch the listen, everybody. Specifically the men. Dude, women let you know if they like you much sooner than you think. It's not always guaranteed, but it's a few little things you can look out for, and that'll let you know if you should make a move or not. You know, if she's never seen you, don't do it. She just met you or whatever. You just seen her for the first time. Don't do it. Like, you got to read the room. You got to read the environment and stuff like that. You gotta. It's so many little things, man.
Yeah,
oh my God, it's so many
little things. That's for sure.
I feel like for women too, like we don't always know, like even deciphering, like, oh, do I really like this person or not? Like, I think even the most confident women are going to get like that, because I've never been like that. I've always been like very confident in myself. Not to say that I'm not now, but like.
You still get nervous now, don't you?
Yes, I do. Like, sometimes he comes around, I'm like, stop smiling at him. Stop. Why are you doing this? It's been over a year. Why are you still doing this? What are we doing?
It's so funny that you say that, because I tell whenever I have like conversations about relationships and stuff, one of the things I always pull out, I'm like, can you name me a girl that you know that's either married or in a relationship, that's been in a relationship for a long time, where she was immediately like what they'll say is, we'll put it in reverse, they'll say is, well, I didn't really like him at first. Like, it's something that
That's
kind
actually,
of like a lot of girls do say that, like, because it's like this, I'm not sure what I want, what I like. Like, you can think he's cute, you can think he's attractive, right? But girls will always be like, well, I didn't, because, right, you were talking about this before, like, girls have a lot to contend with. They have their safety to be, right? Like, women tend to be uncomfortable around strange men, right? And so there's a natural defense there, just a natural psychological defense. So most women, you know what I mean? That's why they say women fall in love with what they hear, because once a guy breaks down that boundary and helps them understand you're safe around me, then you start to like, I actually see you in this whole other light, and you look like a shadowy figure. You look like
with a hood on,
a figure of light now.
I think what you said about I think what you said about like sometimes women are like, oh, I didn't even like him at first. I think it can go both ways, because that's how I felt about him at first, just because I was judging him, and I saw him only at work, not outside of work.
It's fair.
And I was also judging him from the expectations I had. I was judging him from what I thought the man I wanted was supposed to like look like, and what he was supposed to wear, and like really all of that stuff.
Beliefs and shit that weren't even hers.
Essentially, yes. And I had to kind of sift through all of that, because at one point I told someone that I got thick, and that was not the case, because like the next day I was like, oh my God.
So funny you use the word ick. Like, I've had a conversation with Caroline about this. I'm like, what does ick mean? I'm like trying to pull it out of her. Like, what is it actually? Is there really? And that's basically feeling. I know that's what it's going, but like, I'm like, is there actually any substance or any? Is there anything behind this in reality? It's really just I get it.
Not really. Like I said, like I had expectations and stuff of him, and then once I started hanging out with him outside of work, I was like, oh, hold on a minute, I actually like him. Hold on. He's like, actually really like me. Wait. I was like, I don't think I have the ick anymore. I'm like, I can see past all these like little things that I cared about, like that now I've grown to actually love about him. So it's like,
you know what I think it partly is, because I'm a genuine believer in men find, women are available. So I think when you meet the right man, in a way, he tells you that you like him.
That's interesting.
And you're like, that's true. I actually kind of do like you.
No. That's actually really interesting. I've never thought about it like that. Because to some degree, yes, actually. Because even I can remember a specific conversation. We were talking on the phone, and I'm talking to him about his outfit. I'm talking to him about his clothes.
At work, by the way. I'm supposed to be swagged out at work.
And he's like, Daisy, you literally only see me at work. And I'm like, I guess you're right. I guess you're right about that.
Right.
And so, like, as time went on, obviously, like, let that go. So.
Yeah. And you said it before, like, there's women will test you. So there is a series of, like, unspoken tests that you have to pass.
Yeah. He said that before the shit test or whatever. And I was like, I never thought about that. No one thinks about that.
Yeah,
like,
you don't think it's natural.
I'm so aware of it now. Like, sometimes I still do it. Like little things. I'm like, Daisy, stop doing that. I was like, why are you testing him? You already know what it is and what it isn't. So it's like no point of doing that. And a lot of times you do that because of either expectations you have, learned behavior at home, whatever.
It's not
or just like
I don't look at it like a bad thing. You're really just testing to see what kind of man you're dealing with. Honestly,
It's
testing to see if he's
really.
actually a man.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Exactly. That's why
It's
I don't
very
really
natural.
get mad at it. But dudes got to learn how to pass them.
Yeah.
Which is
Right. And not do it bitter or frustrated or
That part. The bitter and frustrated part.
handle it well.
Exactly.
It's really just dependent on what the test is at the time. She's not like, oh, let me shit test her.
Right,
She has
exactly.
no idea what she's doing.
see, like women love confident men, but men think confidence looks different. That's confidence when you
Say
can
that
pass
again?
these tests. Like, so women like confident men,
Yep.
and men think that men think confidence is something that it's not. Right? Confidence is I can pass your tests with ease, flying colors. Right? Like when you start to show your emotions and stuff, you start to get bent out of shape just because she's like said something that you might not like. Like it's just like
Yeah, you
it's
start
like if
getting
you
emotional. I'm
yeah, you're like
why you acting
It's
like
a turn
me?
off.
yeah, you're like
Huge
you're
turn
like
off.
hey, you're talking about his clothes. Like in your mind, you're just like this is not really in the end all be all. Even though we sort of know this is kind of a boundary I have to get past. Like if I don't get past this boundary, that might stop me in my tracks. But you handle it like, listen, you don't see me. You know what I'm saying? I'm at work.
And that
she's
comes
like,
with
Like,
that comes with experience with other women, bro. Like you gotta get you have to. Oh my god, dudes don't understand, bro. You don't need to get at every girl that you like.
Right.
I don't care how cute she is.
Yep.
You know what's powerful? Being friendly with an attractive girl, an objectively attractive girl. Like everybody thinks she look good, and you just her buddy.
That is a power move.
That's
like,
a power move.
It's a power move to other people and also a power move for yourself internally. Like when you can get past that,
Yeah, it's like now I can put you where I want to put you. You
that's-
can't put me where you want to put me.
Yeah,
And then dudes is looking at you like, how did he do
Powerful.
that? And it's like,
yeah,
it's a power move, man.
Yeah.
But a lot of dudes, they gotta conquer every girl that they.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't gotta do all that.
Yeah.
Relax.
What makes that funny is that, like, from my personal experience, there's like dudes that will like think that I'm dating someone that I'm not. I'm like, we're just friends, and they're like, really? They're like so surprised. I'm like,
What does that mean? It's like, bro, it's
I'm
not
like,
a new
we're
thing
just
at
friends.
all. Like, what do you mean? What does that mean?
right.
Like guys and
Yeah.
girls can be friends.
I-
Don't really understand. Yeah.
I was gonna ask this question, but I'm gonna do it in reverse.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you, Meech, where do you think, with all of this stuff we're talking about, what do you think women get wrong? I was gonna ask you for guy and ask Daisy for the girl, but I'm gonna reverse it and say, what do you think? Where do women get this wrong
In general, or just what do they get wrong about men?
about men? We got sort of down a relationship path because I think that's just natural, which I'm totally cool with. But I think overall, I think if women don't understand the dynamics, if they don't understand men, getting a relationship with one is going to be exceedingly difficult.
Yeah.
Right. So just overall, and it could be relationship related. Just curious to know your thought.
Okay. So something women get wrong about men, basically.
Or it's like the general thing that you think that they get wrong, that they can't have good relationships with women, be it friendship or relationship, marriage, or whatever.
Man, you threw a meteor at me on that one. If you come up with something first, just let me know. For
I
you.
feel like mine's really easy.
Oh, go for
go
it.
ahead,
Then.
yeah.
That'll-
I feel
it'll
like
help me.
men,
Yeah.
they get a lot of stuff wrong, but
You talking about men or women though?
I'm
Yours
going to
is
ask you
men.
about men, yes. What do you think men get wrong?
wait, okay.
Because that's why I
Not-
asked. So I'm like, oh, you already know what women
Maybe
get
not.
wrong. Like, I'm just
I was trying to make sure I didn't know what she knew.
What do you? Okay, men get wrong about what?
about women. Just the
oh.
dynamics between.
I feel like that's pretty easy because that's like that is like, it's like so socially accepted for dudes to be trash with women. It's like expected. Like it's like part of the script in like every show. You know what I'm saying? Like my question is a little harder. That's why. But anyway, go ahead.
Honestly, I feel like men. I feel like a lot of men feel like it's hard to talk to women when it's really not.
Oh God,
I feel like
yes.
it's pretty easy. Like I feel like women are actually more receptive than men perceive
think.
us to be.
Y'all are more receptive by nature.
Yeah, and I was gonna say this earlier. Like
Good point.
a lot of women are actually really, really understanding. I know that there's women out here who aren't. But I don't I think most of the time that's not the case, and like they get nervous for no reason. It's like just talk to us. Like,
I think it partly could be as well too. I think that men experience, and this is a dynamic thing I think between men and women. I think that when I tell women this, they don't necessarily understand, and I'm trying to find different ways of like, and I love using analogies and all kinds of things to try to explain this, but
Of course.
men get rejected a lot, not just with women, but in general.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Men experience a lot of rejection
in general. Yeah.
by other men. Like it's you know what I mean. The like you were talking about, like there is a natural competitiveness.
Yep.
It can be healthy competition. We were talking about
For sure.
video games and Dark Souls, right?
Yeah.
Like men will
Just
constantly put themselves in
adversity,
challenging
you know?
position and just experience adversity, right? It's just sort of a natural thing that men just get rejected often. And so I think along those lines, I think when it comes to women, men also get rejected often when it comes to women. It's natural. It's a good thing, right? Because
but
you
there's
got to get
also a
past these
reason
tests,
why.
right? But
sometimes it's like you,
in part, at least,
I
the
think
rejection
it
part.
has to do with confidence as well. Like, I've had many conversations with the girls where it'll be like, sometimes the dude doesn't have to be that cute. But like, you walk over and you're confident and you're not being shy. So she'll talk to you just because, like, you don't have to be that attractive. Like, I think that rejection oftentimes comes from the fact that we know when you walk up on us, you're trying to talk to me, you're trying to get my number. So yeah, I'm gonna reject you. I don't even know you, and you're trying to like get my number. Like, can you just be my friend? Can you just like come over and like compliment me and say that and walk away and let it be that? Like, I think that has a part to do with it as well.
I would say, adding to your question, one thing that dudes really, really, really get wrong with women is, again, asking for the number. Like, you don't realize how much pressure you just put on that girl.
It's true.
Can I get your number? What? Like, just ask me for my social security, dog. Like, this is the same thing. Give me your give me all your information.
Yeah.
Like, which is why I'm an advocate of
A very personal thing.
giving yours. Hey, you mind if I give you? Then you give her a choice.
Yeah.
She's got a little more control now.
I can
She's
respect
good
that
advice.
so much more, if
you
anything.
You didn't
like,
back her up against the wall. Give me your number.
That's
like,
good advice, yeah.
because it lets me know like that you're interested or that you want to talk or whatever the case may be. But that doesn't mean, again, I don't have pressure to speak to you.
But even then, it plays into the confidence thing.
Yeah,
What's more confident, asking or telling?
telling,
Or not telling? Asking or giving?
giving out.
See what I'm saying? I'd rather just give it. I don't know when I started doing that, but once I started, I never stopped. I was like, it just works. I was, let me get you your number. Let me get you my number.
Yep.
And it's also, we're so used to giving out our information. Like, sometimes, like, I don't do it now, and I haven't done it in a while, but when I would say, like, in high school, or, like, when I first graduated and I was, like, first on my own living in Atlanta, like, dudes, first of all, when you're in Atlanta, everybody's walking up on you, for one.
I believe
And
it.
sometimes it's so annoying that,
believe it.
like, either
Question.
I'm fearful, actually, because dudes are crazy, or you're just, like, I want you to go away, so, like, here. And you think that I gave it to you.
That is
Whatever, but that's not the case. I just give it to you. Like,
that is flawed thinking, dog. Why would I give you my information to get you to walk away? That's horrible. That's a boomerang. It is coming right back.
yeah,
No.
I'm not saying that it was smart at all,
That
but
is-
a
but-
lot
but
of
I
young
said that because
girls
that's-
do that all the time.
I know.
Like,
It's crazy. I just
that's
gave
the
it to him.
thing.
Yeah.
Why did you know?
Yeah.
And I get it. You know, I know it's hard for women to say no and
They're
stuff.
looking
or
for the
like,
quickest out.
Oh, you know what?
So it's not dangerous.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's actually a danger zone that if people don't really realize. Like,
But that plays
Yeah.
into the rejection thing because we have so much experience with that, and y'all
Yeah.
don't to your detriment. Because when you're in a situation where you should reject somebody, you don't because you don't want them to feel bad.
Right.
But then you kind of get cut
Yep.
in return.
Yeah.
Crazy,
Yep.
crazy.
It's
when like,
crazy. It's yeah.
wow.
Yep. And it's interesting too is that like a lot of men will fake confidence in this same dynamic that we're talking about right now, like in these situations. And women see like, oh, a man, because he walked up to me and approached me, he's confident. But it can be a red herring, right? Because some men just have done it so often and so much that they know how to do it, right? They the smooth talker,
It's almost like a
they know how to do
manipulation
it, right?
tactic.
They know how to maneuver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so women have to be careful. Like,
No, yeah.
it's very difficult for,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I was saying before, like women vetting men, right?
Yeah.
And knowing, okay, that's a confident man. He's got his head on right. He's competent. He's smart. He's not trying to manipulate me, that kind of thing, versus the man that's just a smooth talker. Because guys know how to smooth talk.
One, you
Girl,
wouldn't know.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
So I think I got my answer.
Yep.
I think this counts. It's not necessarily. So the question was, what do I think women get wrong about men?
Yes.
It's not necessarily like I'm just gonna say it, and then you'll see why I'm like I'm gonna say it, and then and y'all let me know if it counts or not.
All right.
I think women should approach men more.
Oh, I agree with that.
All right.
think so.
I actually no, I agree.
I didn't know
with
if
that.
that was a
counts.
fitting. I don't know if that was a fitting response.
That's fair. That is
But
100%
I
fair.
absolutely think that women should approach men more. Like if you're actually interested in a man, if you're interested enough, just do it. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, that might be the highlight of that dude's day. Because we don't get that shit that often. We don't.
I have built
And if we do, it's women that are like double our age, which is fine. You're so cute. Them older women, listen, bro.
They on it. They
bruh,
will approach.
Yes, they will.
Older
And
women
I
100%
appreciate
will
that. I
approach.
love my older women. But sometimes
That's right.
I would rather somebody
That's
around my
right.
age to just pull up on me and be like, hey, you know what? You ain't even got to just tell me you like my face.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But because we experience that so little, I think that we should use this space to put that out there. Like just go for it.
It's so fun. I built this whole like diagram like 10 years ago. And I was like in a dating pool, and I'm just like, listen, I think I have this figured out. What the issue is so I'm gonna build it really quickly. Bear with me.
Okay.
So imagine that there's just a blank white paper, and down the center of it is a black line. On one side you have men, on the other side you have women. And so the dating line represents the approach, right? Like that's like where you date, where people meet, so to speak. What happens is a lot of men get rejected often their whole life, and so some men can be socially awkward. It's not like you come out the womb knowing how to talk to women, right? Like it's something that just comes with experience, right? Like you kind of discover it late in life to some degree, right? Women, like men don't emotionally mature till they're like 40, right? Those kinds of things, right? And so you only get a few men willing to approach the line. So of 100, you get 20, right? You get 20%. Like those are the guys who it's going to be a very, very mixed bag. They're going to be ones that have a lot of experience with women. They're going to be smooth talkers. They're going to be manipulators. They're going to be the guys that probably got some of that adoration from women because they might be taller or they more physically appealing, those kinds of things.
We
So
watched a
women
video on
do
this.
like to, right?
Might have that jawline.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Some of
Right.
that
So there
jawline
are
action.
those guys, right? And so those guys will approach the line, right? And so that 20% of men basically is taking a shot at 100% of the women, right? Because he has those traits and those features. He's tall, the jawline, he's got the six pack or whatever the case is. He's making a decent amount of money, right? The women, 80% of them will approach the man like, oh, I'm available. Like, let's go on a date. Like he's dating those 20 dudes is dating 80 girls.
Yeah.
Right. And so the issue is that those women on this side never get to get the other 80% of guys, right? They only see the 20 because they're not approaching.
Yep.
So women could fix that if they approach the line. You would have a choice out of 100 as opposed to 20.
Yeah. Because
Right, you just don't get exposure to these men.
because that
normally.
kind of plays into the whole kind of plays into the whole thing where it's like women really only want like the top 10% of men. It kind of plays into that. It's like he said, the 20% that's up here has access to the 80%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's an interesting dynamic, but like you said, we could even it out a little more if women just because y'all do it just like we do.
Right.
You see him over there?
Women would like
That's him.
Women's hit rate would be like 90 out of 100, like 9 out of 10.
Bro.
Women would hit rate like most girls. You walk into a guy, you're like, yeah, I'll take it.
You just got to be a strong. I don't even like rating people,
right?
But you just got to be a strong 6, and you doing pretty good because a female 6 and a male 6 is not
totally
the same
different.
6. Yeah. It's not the same 6 at all. That 6, male 6 is just a regular 6.
Yeah.
Female 6 is all pretty, got flowers, might be made of gold.
Right.
That ain't the same 6, man.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
It's completely different.
You know, and I think to your point, I think that women approaching, I think this is something that is like fantasy.
Okay.
Like women approaching, I don't think it's necessarily going to happen, but I think the choosing signals, which again, I go back to the thing I said before, I think it's a lost art. Women don't necessarily know how to send choosing signals anymore. The way that I think you would kind of, you know, maybe traditionally it would happen, right?
Yeah.
I think nowadays we live such a fast-paced life that I think women kind of expect men to come up to that line as opposed to letting them know, like, I like you, without saying it directly necessarily, right? Like, I like you.
That's
like,
basically what I said earlier. Like, that's how I viewed everything. Like, I'm not going up to them. They need to come up to me. But like, I can count on one hand how many guys I've approached, because I think that's something that just happens too when you build your confidence as well. I think that matters on whether or not you're gonna approach a guy. I just started doing it honestly, like, 'cause I was just like, why not? It's fun. It's actually fun. It's fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like I said, your hit rate it'll be much higher than the dude's hit rate will ever be.
Yeah.
It's literally reversed. Guys get rejected 80% of the time, 90% of the time, 95% of the time. It would be reversed when we get.
Listen, I'm trying to think of the number of times I've been approached.
The fact you have to think about it tells us.
Yeah.
Like, what's the last?
So I know
6,
for sure
7,
there was a girl that approached me in high school. I was walking out of the class and she just looked me dead in my face. She was like, "You were so cute." I hugged her immediately. I was like, "Yeah,
let's do it.
Come here,
yeah,
because this don't happen. Come here, girl." Yes.
Thank you. You see me.
I will see you tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
We're not wasting.
Instantaneous.
You know what I'm saying? I remember it was like shortly after high school, I went into a McDonald's to use the bathroom, and some girl stopped me and she was like, "Can I get your number?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Of course.
Mind you, neither one of these girls was even that cute.
Right.
But it didn't matter to me because this is new. I feel like I'm on a TV show. Like, where the camera's at.
Yeah.
That don't happen to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now.
Right.
Is approaching, what is categorized as approaching? Like a stranger?
I think all inclusive, but to be more specific, I think it would count as going up with the intention of establishing a relationship that can move forward with that intention, right? Because it's not, you know what I mean? Like, if you just go up, you just meet somebody, that's fine. But if you go with the intention, because that adds a certain layer of, like, okay, now there's rejection possible now, right? And so that you start stumbling over your words, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I asked because, like, those are, like, the two ones that come up for me, like, just off the top of my head. But now, not so, like, nobody trying to get my information or anything like that, but I do have women tell me that I'm attractive, things like that. That happens a lot more now than ever.
Right.
But I feel like that plays into, because I've had the same damn face my whole life.
Right.
Everything underneath has changed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that plays into I don't know if you ever heard of it, like the saying, it's like women are and men become.
Yep. Yes, 100%.
And I think that's just a sign of that, like just me just developing as a man, mentally, physically, spiritually. That's attractive to women. Whereas women, y'all just show up, y'all got stuff going on already. You didn't ask for it, just happened.
You're beautiful.
You know,
you came out that way.
I mean, because to some degree, I think naturally women are looking for someone to make a family with. And so I think that developing all those things as a man plays a part into us choosing and looking at you and saying, okay, well, are you able to support that life that I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Whether or not it's going to happen or not, it's a natural thing every single month. Like, so I think, to some degree, like, that's how it's always going to be.
Yep.
That's just what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I would also say, like, this is not an excuse for men to get your confidence up, work on yourself, build yourself. It's not an excuse for that. We're saying that women, if you decided to approach, your hit rate would be high, right? Like, you could probably even your own dating playing field.
You'd be surprised. All the women watching, I have a challenge for you.
I like this.
Just get out there. Well, I don't know what you do. You at the grocery store or whatever. You don't even got to get nobody's number. Just tell a dude that he's cute. Just watch how his face just light up. But don't lie to him. Like, if you're not cute, don't tell him. If you're actually cute, tell him that.
You're going to destroy his world. He's
Yeah, because then you're going to be walking around with his chest out and somebody's going to bring him back. We don't need none of that.
No,
You know what I'm
that would be
saying?
very disappointing for him.
Just go out there, do it. And just watch what happens. You'll make a dude's day, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so camera cut, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and finish up. We're going to finish up anyway. You guys have been an amazing freaking, like, discussion and podcast. Like, I'm serious. We seriously have to do a part 2.
Oh, yeah.
I normally say that, but I really, 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 really mean it.
I actually feel like that too.
Like,
Yeah.
it's been an amazing, like, I can tell you guys have an amazing relationship just because of the honesty and the things that I can tell because you're confident in what you're saying and not necessarily hesitant to say it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a
Absolutely
lot of
not.
relationships where you feel like you got to walk on eggshells because you don't want to say something that you think the other person
we don't
might get
operate like
offended
that.
by or something like that. But I can tell when you have an open line of communication, it just comes across as
Yeah.
being real and authentic, and that's a good
And
foundation.
I'll add something just to make it a little more, I don't know, interesting or real, I guess. This is our first time really talking all day today.
That's dope.
What is it, like 10 something now?
That's dope.
I was doing my thing all day. She was doing her thing all day. We really have like barely interacted up until we got here.
Yeah. That's dope.
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah. Guys got any last thoughts, last words? I always give you guys the last thing.
Last hurrah.
Wrap up.
I mean, he told all the ladies what to do, so I feel like that was
You talking about what I said?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Get
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
gave everybody a challenge. So I feel like that was
See, you know what I'm saying? You out there at Kroger. You know what I'm saying? You at Publix. Wherever you at, you go out to eat. You know what I'm saying? Your waiter's cute. Tell them. Tell them.
Yeah.
Just watch. We need that. We be needing that.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's true.
That's it.
It's true. Nice little confidence boost. That'll get them,
No, seriously.
let them know. So
I don't know. I just feel like too, even if we talk about the same thing again or something different, I think I enjoy just talking about the whole vetting process for women because, like, genuinely, that's for me. Not now, obviously, but like before, that was a big thing, and I know that's still a big thing now. And just understanding men better, I think, will help a lot of women. A lot,
yeah,
honestly.
I agree.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
We just need to
Understand each other.
understand each other, but we really can't do that until we understand ourselves.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
basically
That's a fact.
that's me summing up
That's a
the
fact.
entire podcast.
Yep.
Yeah, you
That's
can't hold up
that's
a
the
mirror.
intro.
Yeah. Exactly.
We just spent all that time just to get there.
Exactly.
That was
Dude.
really all you needed.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to unpack it, and you just got to be like, well, you know what I mean? That's it's simpler than you think. For
Put
sure.
a nice little bow on it. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, thank you guys so much for coming. We'll have to do this again.
For sure.
Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. You guys can't see me.
We need
I'm
a-
cool with that.
another
What I'll
lady.
probably do is I'll probably put like a picture of us up or something like that just to finish out the podcast. So we will have it the last 5 minutes or whatever. But
There we go.
hopefully you guys, like I always say, liking and subscribing is optional. You can do that. Commenting, mandatory. We want to know what everybody thinks. Let's talk about it. Let's
get
have these
into
productive
it.
conversations and the end of this podcast. But the eternal never ends. Thanks, everybody.